Hey, I'm gonna wash the car today. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, got the heater on. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but that's how we warm up Jimmy James' garage. Let me show you. It's pretty loud. So we do that, and then we start the propane, or I mean the pellet stove. So what I do on that is, let me turn this down up here so that doesn't create a problem. So what we do now, we start this. Well, we use the large weed type burner to get it going because that stove is old school. You have to start it. As you can see here, we're getting ready to remount, or not remount. We're going to mount our tires up to the front. If you were following us along last week, we did that, and we ordered the tires off your local Amazon. They came in, and I have a manual tire machine, and I get them put on there, get them balanced, and it's a little bit of work, but it sure turns out really, really well, and the money that we save is pretty nice. As you can see, here's my manual tire changer, and it's just bolted to the ground, and I take some of that lube, and I lube everything up really, really well. And I'll show you a little trick here. It's coming up here in a second, but you get it all lubed up, the rim, the tire, just kind of get that stuff everywhere. And you'll see exactly how we're going to do this. Pretty cool. So look, I'm going to slam it onto the wheel. And if you're really good at it, like my son Rydder at Follows Fabrication, the whole thing just falls on. But I wiggle it a few times and it falls back on. And then you just take your spoon, you're going to run it around this this bead here, and where the rim is at the bead. Make sure you have a lot of lube on there so you don't tear the bead. That's the most important thing. When you have a lot of lube on the tire lube on the wheel and the tire, it slides on fairly easy. As you can see, it goes right on. So it's really not a big deal. And that machine probably cost 50, 60, I probably got $100 and something into the whole thing. And at 25 to 30 bucks a pop to get a tire put on, one set of tires does pretty well in saving you some cash. It is a little bit of work. Let me not kid you. You're definitely pulling and lifting tires and taking them off the truck and so on and so forth. But look, it just kind of goes right along. And by no means am I a pro at this. I'm kind of learning as I go. As a kid, I worked at a gas station and I did quite a few tires on a regular tire machine and a regular balancer and, an automatic type setup. So these manual ones are a little different to me. But I'm getting the hang of it and it's going pretty well. And again, like you're watching right here, this is going to be a $30 bill if I had to take it to a tire shop. And right now, it's free because I've already done a few tires, so that machine's paid for. And the real key is to have a lot of lube and just take your time. Work yourself around that edge of that tire, and you just don't want to tear the bead because then you ruin the tire. But if you go slow and lose lots of lube, boom, just like that, it falls right on. So write down in the comments right now, if you look down to the, not down, look up to the left and over the top of the truck, what kind of car do you see back there? What is that roof line? I have a feeling you won't guess what it is. If you're watching my channel and know what Jimmy James has in his garage, you'll definitely know what kind of car that is. And like I said, write down in the comments right now, tell me what you think that is. What is it? A little pro tip here. What you want to do is you want to push down on that tire if you've been watching what I'm doing here. Push it down, and that seats that lower bead. And you have some lube in there, and it'll push on that pretty easy, push all the way around on it, and then kind of put your body up against it, lift the knee, and then pull it up because it doesn't quite want to seat. So you have to kind of jockey it up, and with a lot of lube, the lube will help that seal, and then boom, it'll pop right on, and it'll work good, and then you'll air it right up. Yeah, a couple things we worked on here. Change oil. I found the kickdown cable wasn't hooked up. Got to get a pin for that. And the choke wasn't working right. So I got that hooked up. Wire was undone and the little spring wasn't hooked up correct. And now we got it running. It's running really good and runs like a top. Oil's changed. We're really happy. Well, I went into my favorite O'Reilly's here in Grangeville, Idaho. What is going on? Let's restart that. So, I come and picked up my brake booster from O'Reilly's. So, as you guys know, I'm new to the Ford things. You know, I've been a Chevy guy, Pontiac kind of guy my whole life, and these F100s are a little different for me. I'm going to show you a couple things that you might need to know. So I didn't film inside. They're not sure if their corporate's okay with it or not. They said the parking lot's fine and all that, but I would have done it right there inside, just so you know. But they're gonna check for me because they do watch my channel in there, which is kind of cool. If you're watching now, thank you. But here is the master cylinder. This is a single pot master cylinder, and basically the rod goes through here, pushes on it. It comes out one hole, goes to all 4 bricks. This is the last year that they did this, 1966. 1967, they did 2 of these pots, but they also do a valve that's a check valve, basically. People have all sorts of names for it, but what it does is if you lose pressure in one end of the master cylinder, the other one still operates. It has a shuttle valve that slides over. That's a big thing in 66. I said they have all sorts of different names for them. But it's a combination valve is actually what the name is. And so these don't have combination valves. What these do is they have one port coming out and it goes to all 4 brakes. If you lose a wheel cylinder or below a line, all the fluid keeps going out. They say they're a little more dangerous that way, which I guess 2 versus 1. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. The other thing is, this is all factory stock. So to get this thing on the road and to put a dual master cylinder power and all that, I may do that at some point, but for right now, for the minimum amount of money and the minimum amount we drive the truck, this is going to go back on it. We'll see if the plastic cap is going to go, or if the other metal one, because I like the metal cap that's on there since it's the original cap. I'm going to put that on there. This plastic one's kind of funky, but as you're looking here, you're going to say, what is this hole for? So this hole here is for the switch. So what it does is it creates pressure here. It locks the switch in and turns the brake lights on. That's kind of what got me on this thing. So when I started when I put it together, it had brake lights. I'm like, why don't I have brake lights? I changed the bulb. Bulb was bad. Okay, had a little corrosion. I cleaned that up. Turn signals work. Light, tail lights work. All that works. Hit the brake lights. No brake lights. So I went to my companion, ChatGPT, my automotive companion, and they told me, hey, right there, check that valve. So pulled those out, jumped them, lights came on. So obviously the switch was not working or something in the master cylinder. So you'd say, well, why don't you just replace the switch? Well, I would have, but if you'll see on this as we progress through this thing, it looked like it was rusty and leaking on this. And let's take this all the way, let's circle back. Let's go all the way back. If there's any kind of issue on these and you were running a single master cylinder, a single pot master cylinder, replace it. Spend the $60 and replace it. I think the whole thing with tax, government fees, licensing, dock fees, pressure to the gangsters, all that stuff, come to like $74 for this whole thing. And now, they didn't have the switch here, but they did have it in Lewiston, Idaho, and we are heading there today. So I had paid for it here, going to pick it up there. So that's a nice thing about this place. They were able to check for me. And, not all parts stores are alike. I do have the luxury of having a couple here. I have the Napa, the AutoZone, or O'Reilly, and then we have a Hometown Auto in Cottonwood, which I really, really like those guys down there. They're excellent. And I use those most of the time because they're right there local, but they didn't have one of these. And so it was going to be a while to get it, and I needed it right away. So I come up to this, O'Reilly's. It tends to have a lot of parts. So that's where we're at with this. We're going to start heading to Lewiston, get the switch, do our other things as we go, and you'll watch me as I put this thing together. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and raise your hand right now. Raise your hand if you have a question. Well, here we go. We're running to the shop. Look, you can't even hardly see it. It's kind of, it's not cold really. It's cold compared to like San Diego, but it's kind of misty, slippery, had some snow on the ground. Now it's all kind of icy. Hopefully we don't have a blooper of me eating this dirt and the snow. My side-by-side's on the car trailer. The Divco's still outside. Got to get that in the shop here pretty quick. But what we're doing here is we're doing brakes. I got to put that new master cylinder on the 66. Let's see what we're in for here. All right, it's nice in here. So yeah, the 66 had a little bit of a issue with with the brake light. Gotta get all the lights turned on here. But look what I did. You're gonna love this part too. Let me show you. I ordered a license plate for it. It's called Idaho Chug, which is gonna be the name of the company. Famous drinks, you know. Again, it'll be a little while before the taps are on this truck, but as you can see, it is a nice cream puff of a truck. You know, again, the values of these things are not outrageous. It's a very affordable vehicle with a V8 and, you know, not all rotted out. You know, a nice truck. So I'm going to get the brakes taken care of. And as you can see, those wheels that I did and tires really turned out awesome. So yeah, we're going to get the truck going. The brakes work fine. Just I didn't have a brake light. And I noticed that the master cylinder had a little leak. So what you want to do, and of course I changed the oil, and I didn't clean up the mesh yet, which that has to be done. But you know, I don't want to mess with an old master cylinder on brakes. That's the last thing I want is the brakes going out on this thing. So I'm going to spend the $74 and put a new brake switch on it and a brand new master cylinder from my favorite O'Reilly's. Oh, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're doing today. We're switching out master cylinders. I'm going to show you a couple tricks. You do you at home, how you do the brakes. But we're going to put the master cylinder on. That's what we're doing. So keep watching as we go. Master cylinder time. How much fun is that? All right, so here's what we're up against. Let me show you here. Get a nice towel. Hey, I apologize for the noise. That's the heater, and it's cold in here. Even though it's not that cold, it is cold enough for little old Jimmy James. Don't want to freeze. Put it in the vise, you know, tighten it down, secure it really well. Get yourself a nice screwdriver is what I'm doing. And I find the center of that, and I just push it in. That's how we're going to bleed it. What I'm going to show you here is, look at this. You're going to get this thing. It's going to say, stop, look, and listen, see what you've been missing. Don't screw your stuff up. So it comes with these little screws, and it shows you how to bench bleed them. Make sure you bench bleed it. Get all the air out of it. That is going to save you a ton of drama. Believe me, you don't want to have air going through the whole system. It's an 8-foot long bed. Who wants all that? All the way in the back, air going from here. Take you forever to bleed it out. So, you know, really want to do a good bench bleed with it. And it's going to go through their direction. So you do you. That's kind of what I'm going to do. I am going to add my switch to it, which I have right here, comes separate from this. And if you did notice, it's a Ford, but it's got a GM freaking master cylinder. Apparently dual master cylinder is the pictures you get. It's got a QR code, so, and it's pretty good. It's a Brakes Best Select. So it doesn't even have the right picture on it. It's one size fits all. Got a little brake fluid here, so make sure you don't get that everywhere. That's pretty toxic. It'll eat paint off, things like of that nature. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to be bleeding some brakes. Master cylinder. So basically what I'm doing is putting some fluid in it, and then you push it in and out a bunch of times to get the air out. You got to wait between each one and go nice and slow. Just don't ramrod that thing and, you know, create more bubbles. Just nice and smooth, and then you wait. You let the air work itself out. And of course, you got the ends plugged off, so there's nothing going out there. And they make lines to return it back in. You don't really need those. You can let it kind of drip out first and then make it happen. Through the magic of some editing, which I don't edit much on these things, you just don't want to watch me every 15 seconds push this thing in and out. So here's what it looks like now that it doesn't have any air. Let's see, it's been sitting for a minute. See, no air. No air, just that's just a stream of fluid. I don't know if that comes across on the camera, but it's just a stream of fluid. There you go, just fluid, no bubbles. And that's what you want. And I do it a few times just to make sure nothing pops out. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to install, it says bleed the rest of the system after you hook it up, blah, blah, blah. But what Jimmy James is going to do, I'm going to take the top one off and insert this, because you know there's a little bit of a hole there for this switch. Going to trap some air in it, right? We're going to bleed it too. So that's why you have all these extra rags here. So that's what we're going to take apart first. So this socket is a 1 inch. And I put a 3/8 ratchet on it, a little short one, because I don't want to be gorilling on it. You know, we're not going to do that. It already comes with the Teflon tape you're supposed to use. That's pretty cool. So make sure your fluid is up. We're going to take this out. We're going to get ready to plug that back in at the same time. Go nice and slow so it doesn't spew out like that. Watch yourself. Pretty good. Now off to the truck. So pretty simple here, just a couple bolts, those 2 wires, let me show you right now. We're just going to do a couple bolts right there, the 2 wires in that line, and this thing should come off. I'm going to see if I can keep that cap though. I haven't tried it on the other master cylinder. I think that would be a lot better having that stock cap. But you can see where it's all kind of wet and it's just been over time, just kind of oozing and leaking. So there's look at the back of the firewall here. It's kind of, you know, shown signs of leak, you know, before. So it's just original, old, and worn out. It just needs to go. Yeah, I didn't bore you with the taking it off. No problem at all. You just unbolt the 2 bolts on each side. Out it comes. And then I took the rod out. I'll show you. I pulled it off the brake, and it has a little plastic insert. I want to check, make sure that's good. And the little trick you want to do is you put this on, take a little silicone spray it on your, I cleaned it all up. Take your screwdriver and just gently get it underneath there. It releases the air in here. So now it's functioning. And it pushes in, it does really well. But I guess we found the problem. It's definitely leaking a little bit, just from age, as you can tell. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm not going to bore you with all the fast motion and all that, but I'm going to hit that with a scrub brush. And then I'm going to put a little black engine paint. And that'll cure that little section. So stay tuned as I scrub away. Well, the brakes are all done, but we're going to have to get some gas. And look what kind of car that is on the gas pump. And there's our price of gas in Idaho. Down in the comments, tell me what kind of car that is in the state of Idaho. Also, this is the next little bit. It's kind of fun. It's an AI video I put up on my shorts. And take a look at it right here. It's pretty cool.
People ask me why a grown man rides a kid's big wheel in an Evel Knievel suit. I tell them it's a reminder that risk isn't only about going fast. It's about daring to be completely present, even in the slow moments.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Look at all that junk behind me. Oh, we're making cider. Why on earth would we be up at 5 in the morning at Jimmy James' garage? That's because we're going to the Christmas Extravaganza. So here we go. This is the beginning of the cider. 5 in the morning on a Sunday. Sunday is supposed to be sleep-in day. We ain't doing much of that this morning. Are we, Tori? No. What are you making?
Oh, why you do that to me? I'm washing a pan.
She's washing a pan. She's making coffee. We got coffee. We got cider. What else we got?
Hot chocolate's next.
Hot chocolate is next. Stay tuned. Well, this is how our week ended here at the Bar 46 at the Christmas Extravaganza. It's a neat event they put out there at the Bar 46 in Cul-de-sac, Idaho. I got a couple of Sundays left to do. If you're in the cul-de-sac, Lewiston type area, come on by and see us. We had the cattle truck out there serving drinks, and it did really well. The event was really well. You can come get gifts for the family and lots of things for the kids to do. And it was a great event, and we really enjoyed it. And if you look here close, even the F-100 got in on the action. Well, thanks for joining me here on Jimmy James Garage, and we will see you next week. Like and subscribe.